Hi, I hope you're well today. I want to give you 9 good reasons to stop drinking or to stay sober. And the context of this is that if you don't already know, I offer support and services to people who want to stop drinking and have been struggling, who have had or have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. And I give them the support they need, the guidance they need to help them stop drinking. And I do that in a couple of different ways. So I offer memberships on my website where you can get some support. You can get access to an online forum, a private online community. You can get access to my coaching program. There's various types of support that I offer on my website. And part of what I offer is regular email contact. And what I want to share with you today is an email reply that I've sent to someone. And I'm going to read you out snippets of this reply because I thought it'd be really useful to share this because it's quite motivational. If you need a reason to help you to stop drinking, this might be one of them, or these might be a few of them. So this is taken from an email I sent a couple of days ago when I'd woken up. I'd woken up quite early in the morning and I was off to my sister's house. And my sister she does a bit of photography and she was going to take some photos of me for my website. So we were going to do a bit of a photo shoot and I had a couple of hours drive ahead of me. So I said here, I'm looking forward to it, but I've also been stressing about what clothes to take or wear. I need a kind of casual, living life to the full look. I want a healthy and fit look, but I also need a formal and professional look as well. So I said here, I've just been hauling through my wardrobe to pull some stuff together and getting everything in the car ready to go. Still on the theme of celebrating how life is better sober, because I was writing this email to someone that I'm supporting. I put number 1, I've had a good night's sleep. Number 2, I've got a clear head. Number 3, my face, my skin and my eyes are clear and bright. Number 4, I think I look okay and I'm happy to be photoed. Number 5, I'm feeling a mixture of nerves and excitement. Number 6, I'm in control of my choices about clothes and I'm making rational decisions quite calmly. Number 7, I got up to an alarm which was set so that I'd have plenty of time to get everything ready for the day. Number 8, I've got 10 minutes to spare, which was why I was writing the email, because I had this spare 10 minutes. And number 9, I'm looking forward to the car drive and the photo shoot and seeing my sister. And then I followed these 9 things that I was kind of pleased about that were making my morning go really well. I put how a commitment like this would have gone when I was drinking, and I've listed each of those 9 things, but how they would have been different for me when I was drinking, in my drinking days. So number 1, instead of having had a good night's sleep, I would have had a terrible sleep. And I've put in brackets, I would have been awake for a few hours panicking and worrying. What used to happen to me in my drinking days was I would wake up, it would vary, but usually in the early hours of the morning, and my mind would be whirling and it would be going round and round in circles. It would be going round and round with everything I was worrying about the following day. It would be going round and round over everything that I couldn't remember from the night before. The panic, the fear over what I might have said and done. Or I might have been replaying over and over an incident that I wasn't quite sure of. Did I overstep the mark? Did I offend someone? Was I obnoxious? Generally sort of giving myself lots of reasons to just lie awake and not sleep. And of course, the sleep that I did get, any sleep I did get, wouldn't have been a healthy sleep because, as we know scientifically, alcohol interferes with your natural sleep patterns. So I would have had a terrible sleep and I would have been lying awake in the early hours of the morning. So I would have woken up feeling crap, exhausted, unrested, unrefreshed. Number 2, instead of having a clear head, my head would have been whirling with anxious thoughts and feeling fuzzy. So of course, having had a crap night's sleep and being in the process of coming down off all the alcohol from the night before, And because my mental health wasn't in a brilliant way when I was drinking, I would have been suffering anxiety attacks, panic attacks. As soon as I woke up in the morning, I'd have been worrying about having panic attacks, and I would have been bringing them on just by worrying about them. Imagining that I was going to have them would have created that reality for me, and I would have ended up having them. And also my head, instead of being clear, would have just been really fuzzy. I wouldn't have been able to think rationally and calmly about anything, because I literally would have been just kind of feeling my way through a hazy fog. So number 3, instead of skin, face and eyes being clear, I used to look in the mirror in the mornings and I used to notice how I'm getting bags under my eyes anyway because I'm aging, but the bags under my eyes used to be really pronounced when I was drinking. I mean, my skin was visibly puffy, and not only was my skin puffy and really unhealthy looking, and the bags would be really pronounced, but my eyes would be bloodshot. They wouldn't be clear. They wouldn't be shining. Sometimes my eyes would be kind of really just sort of puffily. I could barely open them properly. I mean, I've got fairly narrow eyes anyway. Sorry, I'm just looking at myself to prove my point. I've got fairly narrow eyes anyway. So you can imagine that when I was waking up in the mornings with puffy and bleary and bags under my eyes, you literally would have just been slits. So it would have been a very different story. Number 4, I would have hated the way I looked and would have worried about how I'd look in the photos. So yeah, as opposed to being okay with the fresh look that I had, I mean, I don't love myself, but I was okay with how I looked. But in my drinking days, I would have been really paranoid. I'd have been really worrying about the state of my skin, the state of my face, the state of my eyes. I'd have been getting really self-conscious about how haggard I looked, how puffy I looked, whether people could tell I had a problem just from the way I looked, from my bloodshot eyes, etc. So I would have had a lot of anxiety going on just from the way that I looked, and I certainly wouldn't have felt confident about having my photo taken. Number 5, I would have been feeling intense and debilitating anxiety and would have had several panic attacks by now. So I've kind of already explained that one. My mental state would have been so poor that it would have just been about surviving the day. I would literally just be struggling to do one thing, getting that one thing done, moving on to the next thing, and just literally fighting my way through each action I had to take. With all of the panic and anxiety and bringing on all the anxiety attacks. Because again, scientifically, alcohol is shown to have a detrimental effect on things like anxiety, stress, depression. And number 6, instead of making what I've said were controlled choices, rational and calm choices about clothes, because I had to pull some outfits together, I've put that my decisions about clothes and packing would have been poorly made through fuzzy thinking and a cloudy head. It would have been all I could do just to get myself out of bed and out the door on time. I might even have found an excuse to rearrange it, knowing my sister is busy, and might have been relieved if I did. That fuzzy thinking and cloudy head would have interfered with everything. So I might have made very different outfit choices. It would have been rushed, it would have been haphazard, it would simply be just getting away with what I could possibly, the bare minimum I could get away with just to get out the door on time. Number 7, I would have reset my alarm while I was awake in the middle of the night, because this is what used to happen. When I was lying awake in the night, unable to get back to sleep again because my mind was whirring from all the alcohol, I would have started to worry that I wasn't getting enough sleep and that I wouldn't be able to get back to sleep again, and I was likely to get back to sleep again half an hour before my alarm was set. So I would have set the alarm for maybe half an hour later, just in case I fell back to sleep, and it would just give me a bit extra. So that was the way my mind used to work. So I would have woken up a lot later. I wouldn't have given myself the time to relax, to get sorted, to get organised, to stay calm, to stay excited, enthusiastic and motivated. It would all have been a mad dash and chaotic. Number 8, I would have been running late and panicking and stressed about time. If I hadn't rearranged the whole thing, I probably would have called my sister to put it back an hour or two. So yeah, all that stress and panic and chaos, meant it was very likely that I wouldn't have left on time, and I probably would have called whoever it was waiting for me to let them know I was going to be late. So letting other people down was a common symptom of my drinking. And number 9, the final one, I would have been dreading the day and counting the hours till I got home and could start to feel better with a drink. And this was the whole thing about my drinking days and how different it is now. And all these reasons are such good reasons to stop drinking if you have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. Because as it was, I was just looking forward to the day. I was looking forward to spending time with my sister. I was looking forward to the drive, to listening to the radio, to some time in the car relaxing with myself. I was looking forward to the fun we were going to have, taking all these photos. I was also curious about how the day was going to unfold and what kind of situations we were going to find ourselves in, having not planned it very much in advance. But in my drinking days, this would have been something that I'd be dreading. I'd be dreading the anxiety attacks, the panic attacks. I'd be dreading having to just fight my way through the day. I'd be self-conscious and paranoid about, having to appear normal and like I was okay and I was a proper functioning normal adult. And all my smiling and all my interaction and connecting would have been it would have felt like it was false. On the inside, I would have felt like I was, in a terrible state, but on the outside, I might have appeared quite normal. And so it would have been a real battle for me to get through the day. And I would have been counting the hours until I could get home, or at least until the sort of first half of the day was over. And I'd start to look forward to the day's event ending so that I could get home and start drinking. Because as soon as I started drinking, I'd start to feel okay again, at least for half an hour maybe, and then I'd start feeling crap all over again. Vicious cycle. So the difference between how I would approach an event or a commitment like that in my drinking days to how I approach it now, those 9 different kind of comparisons are just 9 really good reasons why it's a good idea to stop drinking and start learning to live your life sober. Because it doesn't take that long before you start forgetting about worrying about drinking, thinking about drinking, being tempted by drinking. It doesn't take that long before you just forget about alcohol and it no longer features as an issue in your life, that you just get on with your life without thinking about it. So let me know what good reasons you've got to stop drinking. Subscribe to my channel if you want more tips, inspiration and motivation on how to stop drinking and enjoy living your life sober. I'll look forward to catching up with you soon, but in the meantime, let's go get sober together.